Is it working? Hello? There it is. Right there. Plain as day. There it is. We got 76%. Okay. Last time we left off, we was I need to. This is gonna kick us in our arses. Cheap it out. We got this. We did that on the first try. Let's go! Bro. Ain't no way. Ain't no actual way, bro. Ain't no actual way, bro. We did that on the first try. What the heck? I gotta put my hair up for this. Cause like, what? Ain't no way we actually did that, bro. Ain't no way we actually did that. That is hilarious. I wouldn't say hilarious. come on. We gotta get him to move from the... Alright. We're gonna trigger him. Oh, he scared me so bad. I was trying not to scream. I had to bite my tongue twice. Ow. Jeez. He scared me so bad. And we can't see the button. Oh my god, bro. He scared me so bad. Bro, could you please? I'm finna throw a fit. Thank you. Now we gotta go turn the light off. Man, I don't like this, man. I'm not sure if I can do this. I'm not sure if I can actually do this. You know what, low-key, I want to listen to my podcast while we do this. Cause ain't nobody really in the live anyway, which is kind of sad. Y'all ain't turning on y'all notifications. Cause people who do, I can see who do and see who don't. There's only 3 to 4 of y'all that's actually doing it, and I got 77. Turn on your notifications to see me. But we still gotta finish that interview about the Black Dahlia.
Upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com.
There's personal stories, practical tips, and empowering mantras designed to help you stay grounded amidst the chaos that comes with an
There's no reason that as a clinician you should be spending hours on paperwork to bill for insurance.
Is this an ad?
For sure.
Might have been responsible for the infamous Black Dahlia murder in 19. So if we go back to your uncle, Steve Odell, he suggested that George was responsible for a number of unsolved murders beyond Elizabeth Short, the Black Dahlia. What's your opinion on this broader theory that George Odell could have been a serial killer?
I definitely think he could have been a serial killer. I don't know if I believe he was the Zodiac killer or other things that our great uncle Steve has said, and it's no disrespect to Steve, it's just, I don't want to believe that. But I definitely think he was capable of murdering multiple people, especially with the things that he did to Tamar, and I just really think he was capable of it.
And his secretary.
I just feel that in my gut. And his secretary,
was involved.
Yes, for sure. So there's definitely more than one.
I agree with what Rasha said. I feel like the Zodiac is a little bit far-fetched, And again, going back to, we're not really true crime people, so it's not like we spend a whole lot of time or have throughout our lives, researching all these other cases, but
Nah, what is this, bro? Okay. Well, okay, I got distracted. I'm sitting here scared for my life, okay? Why are we in the most darkest room in history? Knowing that there's mannequins that move in the dark. If I like lean over and like do this, that I'm checking, like there's a thing right here. Like I can see the time, how good my FPS is and my KBPS is, or whatever that's called. Whatever that means, I don't know. It's good. I got 30 right now. I guess that's good for a streamer. I don't know. I got 30 FPS right now, so whatever about that. But I can see how many people is watching and how long I've been streaming for. So like if you see me do this, cause like my tablet is on the podcast. I can't watch the chat and listen to the podcast at the same time. Like that's just it just does that. So like if I just do this, then that means I'm looking at see who's in there. So like when I do go read the chat, just in case they say something, then I'll go back to the podcast. But anyway, let's get back into it because I talk way too damn much.
definitely Elizabeth Short, as well as Ruth Spalding, and all obviously the horrendous things that he did, to his child. That in itself is just, an evil human being.
He fled the U.S. not long after the Black Dahlia case was starting to get media attention. I mean, do you think that's part of why he left the country, was to try to get away from scrutiny and suspicion about connection to the murder?
I mean, I think that's kind of obvious. I think for most of us, like when you read all the transcripts, when he says what he says on the tape, and now all of a sudden he's like, going to the Philippines, he's getting out of the country. So it absolutely makes sense. And back then, we talk about LA like we have earlier. LA was very corrupt. George was a very influential person, in Los Angeles, and he had a lot of people, I'm sure, that, were in his pockets that would take care of this and that, and knew that it was time for him to get out of town, especially with him being the prime suspect.
And I do have to say, too, when he went to the Philippines, he ended up starting a whole new family there. And we have special relationships with our family from the Philippines. And just to be devil's advocate, a lot of them don't believe that he was a murderer of any kind. So it's very, very nuanced. And I guess all families are, right? But it's just so interesting. Like, if he could have moved to the Philippines and then never done an evil thing again, I don't know.
I mean, and we have to remember that, George was brilliant.
He was a genius.
As well. Like, he
Oh my God, bro.
had an
Oh my God. There's too many people. My strategy is to hug the freaking wall until I find the door. But I can't find the door, and I'm scared out of my mind. I don't want to do this.
genius, so, and he had that personality, that Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of personality. So, he could turn it off and turn it on, when he chose.
Do you think there's any chance that law enforcement would ever be able to
First try. Let's go. Ow. I beat my chest, and that hurts so much. I need to stop doing that. Ow. First try. Let's actually go. No, wait, that wasn't first try. I got killed like two to three times. But like, hey, at least I didn't crash out or like maybe because I was paying attention to the podcast. But hey, first try. Like, I actually did that. Let's go.
definitively hold him responsible, or do you feel like that ship has sort of sailed?
Well, I can tell you what the LAPD said when we did the Today Show. They said that it is still an open investigation. And if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, but they didn't say anything about George, right?
No. I mean, if anyone is going to prove it, it's going to be Steve. And Steve does say, like Steve has said that, he does have some type of DNA on some
He has George's
or
DNA.
or letter or something, I don't know. So I think he's the one who's going to diligently stay with this for the rest of his life until, something happens. We would hope.
Both for his sake and all of our sakes, I'm certainly rooting for the possibility that DNA one day might lead to a payoff, because as we're talking about story and healing, it's like, oh, that might be a chapter yet to be written, and you don't know what kind of healing and transformation can take place, even though it's so long ago in some ways, because it ripples through our histories, as you know, from the personal side of the family. Like, oh, that can really make a difference sometimes. So I'm certainly hoping one day that it comes to.
Well, and it's funny that you say that, Carter. One of the episodes that we did for Root of Evil that also made it on the cutting room floor, Yvette and I met with one of the sisters at the place where our mom was born. It was an unwed mother's home. And I remember her telling us, you may not get the answers, and you have to basically be okay with that. Yeah, and it's like we still have to heal. We still have to become whole again. I think Yvette and I have made peace with the fact that we may never find out the truth, because everyone who was involved is no longer with us.
Yeah. And I say that, and when I say that about Steve, like, I wish that for him too. Yes, I'm sure he's going to continue his journey of trying to prove, or solve the case. But at the same time, I hope that he takes care of his own spirit, and heals himself as well. Because at the end of the day, that's the most important thing for all of us.
Yeah, at the same time, I'm such a lover of dogged journalists and investigators and stuff, and so I find myself just like, come on, let's get there, give that man what he deserves as far as the knowledge goes.
Yeah.
All right, well, up next, we'll get Rasha and Yvette's takes on where things go from here and the legacy of their family's connection to the crime. Stay tuned after this short break.
Wait a minute.
Okay, let's take a poll.
What is going on here? Okay, so you know how in Little Nightmares, once you aim the flashlight, it'll be loosely and not straight? He's doing it straight, like something is here. What's here, dude?
Yes? Nothing.
Look.
I don't know. That's
Do we go this way? No, we don't. Okay. I was just so confused.
How weird does it? Zilla is designed to get on and hey, Heavyville is the only heard and the silence and the true story of one man surviving.
But I really want to hear about the effect it's had on your family overall. With the release of your podcast, Root of Evil, the world has learned about your family's connection to one of the most famous unsolved murders. So how has sharing your family story on such a public platform changed the way you view the past? And I know we've talked about this some. What else there is about being in the position, not just of someone who's experienced it, but then shared it so publicly, what that's like?
For me, I think that it's been a release. It's something that's always followed us from the time I was a little girl, just because I always knew. And when the world found out, I was like, okay, it's all out there. It's all out there, and all we can do, especially having, just lost our mom when Root of Evil came out, Yvette and I choose every day to follow the light. We choose every day to lead with kindness and aloha. And I'm not perfect by any means, but I do my best to be her legacy. And so that's why we do the work that we do, why we went on to do Facing Evil and So Supernatural, so that we can have a voice for the voiceless and do good in the world. So for me, it's been very healing and very beautiful.
And for me, I talked about Root of Evil in the beginning, of how it made me feel. But there was also the light, which was that cathartic feeling of when the family came together and, we had this conversation, which was really beautiful. And I hope that helped other families speak to one another, because everybody has, a different view or a different story. But if you can all get into one room or get on a phone or, just listen, not judge, right? But just listen to what each other has to say, whether you believe it or not, but just giving each other the ability to share what they feel is so powerful and so healing in itself. And my mom raised us to be strong women and to carry on her legacy, because she came from secrets and lies and trauma. But even though she came from all that, I like to say she was truly rooted in love. And she perpetuated that love to every single person that she encountered, whether it be on a plane, in a car, like in a gallery. Like that kindness that she illuminated continued to gravitate to her, so that darkness never stayed with her. And that is how we were raised, and that is how we are able to carry on, to tell stories, to be blessed to like Rasha said, to have this platform to share stories so people don't feel alone, and it's okay that if you don't want to tell your story, that's okay too. But if you do, that it's okay. You can share it, because there's always someone who has had a similar experience. And if you can be a light in the darkness for someone else, what better feeling in the world is that?
Yeah, there is none. That is amazing and truly incredible that her story in the soil of such darkness, that her choosing, creating, becoming a source of light is such an incredible story. So along those lines, that's obviously an incredible lesson for all of us. Are there other lessons or values that you want to pass on to future generations, either of your family or just for all of us, please, considering all that you've learned from this?
I think the most important thing, and I think we've said it all through this podcast, is always choosing kindness. Kindness.
Hold on, I feel like one person is right there, because it keeps on saying one, like a person is actually there. So let me check. No, nobody is here.
This goes a long way in this world, and that was the beauty of Mom and what she gave to us and what she gave to everybody that she encountered. And paying that forward is so important, and especially in everything that we have gone through, what we're going through in the world, and finding, that community, right? Because community will always hold you up and help you out and raise you up, lift you up, I should say. So yeah, kindness, joy, finding the light.
Of course, I agree with everything my sister said, as I always do. But I am a mom. I have a 13-year-old daughter, Leilani, and she was a part of all of this. I accidentally played the trailer for Root of Evil for her when she was 6. And I shouldn't have played it for her. But I was excited. I'm like, oh, and I didn't realize how heavy it was going to be. So she knows all about our family. But something I always perpetuate with her and, with everyone I meet and come into contact with, I always want to lead with the light and with kindness. And especially with everything that's going on in our world right now with different, opposing political views and everything, if each of us led with kindness and met each other in the middle, I think it'd be a much happier always say, she'd want the whole world to live happily ever after and have world peace. I mean, she was literally a walking billboard for it. But I truly think that there is a common ground. And she would also say there's so much more good than there is evil in the world. And from everything she came from and what we've come from, I just want to perpetuate love and light and aloha, and just to know that you can overcome that darkness. And it doesn't mean that there aren't days that we need to be held up. I mean, I just spent the last 6 months going through breast cancer myself, and I had to rely on my wife and my sister and my community. And I felt very close to Mom during that time because she died from the same disease, and I know that I'm here because of all of that light that everyone held me up, and I just want to hold up others as much as I possibly can so that they don't feel so alone.
And it takes a village, Carter. It takes a village, and our mother was always surrounded with incredible people in her lives.
These are faces. Like, does the doctor make the faces for the geisha lady for her, guests? That is interesting. I think he does because yeah, he has to. So the doctor, wait. Yama? Yeah. No, I think there's a piece left in the second box. There's a piece left in the second box. Whew. But wait, so what we saved Sasha from, he captured kids like us, brings them to the geisha lady. And then the guests are to eat their hearts? I don't know.
Always had a village, and for those that are listening, it's like, find your village, find your people, find your helpers, people that will lift you up.
Yeah. For those fans of Supernatural and Root of Evil and Murder.
What?
Nothing. I was making sure you didn't eat my chicken too, because I had some. Oh, so you ate Mama's chicken, but you didn't eat mine. Alright.
I did not. Okay.
This chicken's mine.
I did not know that.
And I feel bad for Mama. You wanted that chicken too.
Okay.
True crime stories, and if you haven't listened to Root of Evil, I really recommend it. But this is also part of listening to stories about true crime. It's a podcast that have some darkness, is that it's not meant just to weigh you down or scare you, that it can also be a reminder that amidst all these pillars of darkness, you get to keep navigating toward the light. So I'm really so thankful to you for sharing your time and your story today, and these incredible lessons that we can all take and apply.
Go.
So,
I didn't. Go tell her.
Mahalo, Carter. Thank you.
I didn't know. I thought that was, no, literally, I thought
value.